This is the Claws Out podcast live from the mic'd up studio here in Parramatta. A couple of hours after the West Tigers 36-28 win over the Titans at Leichhardt Oval. I'm joined by all the glory hunters, Garry, Steve, Rob. I'm the only team player here. You guys get the glory. I come in here, do my notes and do the first show, and you come in here and get all the glory.
Well, firstly, thank you for doing that, mate. I'm getting too old to write down God knows how many tries were scored today from both teams. What was it, 10 or thereabouts, 10 or 11? And massive thank you to Kathy Ashton for inviting me to Leichhardt Oval today. Didn't go quite as how I wanted.
Well, I was going to say, you could have actually turned up and done the Adel show because apparently you left at half time. I, knowing you well, assumed just because you thought, oh, we're gone here, we've got the shits, but
Not at
you're
all.
crook.
Not at all. I've been crook all day. I wanted to pike out at 11 o'clock when she messaged me, and I thought, no, just suck it up, suck it up, suck it up. Then when I got there, it looked like it was going to rain. Then the sun came out. Then it poured on us while we were on the field, and I dead set caught a chill. And you know what the facilities are like at Leichhardt. But visited a service station on the way home, and then got home and finally
The
made
adrenaline will get you through.
Oh, mate, what a win. I can't believe we won. I just can't believe we won. It's just so heroic.
Mate, you having the right notes, that's not our fault. Like, if you can't follow the game and just wing it, mate, that's
I
all
can't.
on you.
He's a
You
true
know what
pro.
I'm like. You know
He's
what
a
I'm
true
like.
pro.
I'm a very anal. I like to take 27 pages of notes. But Steve, you had an entertaining afternoon. You hosted NRL 360 and the Telegraph writer Brent Read, Leichhardt Oval hater. Did he lap up the experience, or is he still a hater?
Mate, a busy afternoon. I've been at it all day.
Your voice is gone.
This has been the busiest day I've ever worked in my life. Yeah, so I hosted Brent Read all day, and he had a cameraman with Code Sports, and we started at the Orange Grove and walked to the game and went on the hill and up in the stand and watched the game and seemed to commentate half the game. He's a lovely bloke. We had a great day, and yeah, he didn't admit to being totally won over, but he did he did concede that we got something very special here, and he finished off his little rap by saying, "We need 100 million, not 50 million, because it's worth preserving." So
Nice.
So
Did any of the punters on the hill get stuck into him, or did he go
yeah,
undercover?
the hill was awesome. No,
Did he wear a Tigers jersey? He said he was going
did.
to.
So he didn't have the Tigers jersey when we were on the hill. He got that later. But he was on the hill, and a whole lot of blokes surrounded him, and they were chanting and carrying on. There was a lot of good-natured ribbing for him, and he took it really well. And yeah, he's a good bloke. Good on him for doing it.
I didn't think you'd get it within a bull's roar of the Orange Grove today with the Socceroos playing at 2 o'clock. Would have been chaos this
Mate,
afternoon.
it is the busiest I've seen it. We were pretty much stuck outside on the footpath where they serve drinks out there, but it was great. Yeah, and outside you could hear when the Socceroos scored, not to cross over into another sport too much, but yeah,
Massive win for them.
Mate, it was a wonderful afternoon out at the Orange Grove, and I'm sure a lot of people just stayed at the Orange Grove to watch so they could watch both.
12:30 p.m, every table jam-packed. Orange Grove.
Main emotion, is it proud? Is it relief? Is it elation? Combination? What is it?
All the above, yeah. And I think in that order too. Definitely pride, definitely relief, absolutely elated because I think it's bought us a fortnight if we are getting any troops back. It's a shame to lose Kai Pearce-Paul, which I'm sure you'll talk about. That's a special win, guys. That, you know, a lot of guys played a lot bigger minutes than we're used to. I mean, we're used to Terrell May putting out 77 minutes, but Sukar played 71. I think Bole played 57. Josesi Lanyon, I think he played over 50 minutes as well.
Safar 74.
Safar 74. There's guys there that just don't put those minutes, and you can't tell me they knew who each other were at some stages. Like, we swap players around during the game. You know, there are a couple of poor performances and poor tries, but you cannot be anything but proud and inspired by just how they dug in. And to quote, you know, legendary coach Warren Ryan, Benji squeezed all the juice out of the Orange today. We got absolutely everything we could from all the players, and I'm so happy for Jerome Luai. I said it on Twitter today, we needed a captain's knock, and it was going to be his last game at Leichhardt, and boy, he didn't let me down.
Like a Tiger moment, you probably haven't thought of one. I'll give you mine first because I'll go with you, Rob. It was the Jerome Luai big fuck you to everyone. And it's including people like me, Tigers fans who've been critical of him in the past, and players are emotional and they hear the criticism. They might not admit to it, but of course they hear it. And that was pure emotion there at the end from him. I'll talk about it in a minute, whether you think he went overboard, but that was clearly directed at our fans.
Oh, absolutely it was. And yeah, I think we probably do need to talk about it a little bit. I'm not I'm not quite as positive about it as you are. I think the bloke's got to suck it up a little bit. Like I know no one should get.
What do you want him to do? Walk back to halfway after he scored? Nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. But what I'm saying is, the guy. It's an emotional game, right? And the crowd are going to react. Now he puts himself out there. He makes these statements, right? And then he plays a game like that, and he's going to get all the laudits for playing the game like he played today, and all the pats on the back as he deserves. He was brilliant. But he makes big statements, and therefore people react. It's an emotional game, and the crowd have reacted. So turn to your own fans and telling them to get fucked. I think that's pretty silly behaviour, actually.
It was shut the fuck up. It wasn't GF, but yeah. Look, no, I
Semantics.
respect your opinion. I disagree. I think there's been a lot of emotion built up since the PNG signing. We've mentioned before on the podcast that he's got abusive messages, DMs from our own supporters, okay, saying, get the F out of here now. We don't want you at our club. Look, I mean, everyone's saying, oh, yeah, he had one good game today. No, he's had 3 brilliant games at Leichhardt. We've won all 3 games. Granted, the opposition aren't going great. The Titans and Canberra Raiders weren't going great at the time. And Newcastle, wasn't Newcastle, it was North Queensland missing a few players on the back of a Vegas trip and a bye. But he's been brilliant at all 3 Leichhardt games, and he set the tone from the kickoff when that ball held
You've
up
asked
in
him
the
to
air.
do that. Run straight. That's what he did.
We said run north-south, take the game on. But that, honestly, the last try for me, that's just
get out of
something
my way.
special. That is special. That's so effing good.
In the press conference after the game, they actually asked him whether the criticism has had an effect on him. And he owned up to it. He said, the criticism has affected me. He said that the coaching staff took him aside in the last couple of weeks and said to him, we like how you play at our club. We want you to play the way you're playing at our club. Now go out and do it on the field. Now, I think that says a lot about how much it's had an effect on him. I think after the Papua New Guinea trip and after coming back and announcing he'd signed over there, I don't think there's any doubt he went into his shell and it affected his confidence a little bit. But today he showed on the field that he is a leader of our club. He showed that he can inspire our club. And my like a tiger moment, Eddie, was the exact same thing. That try at the end was a fantastic try, great footwork, and it sealed the game for us.
I mentioned to Adel, it reminded me of the Tedesco try. It was almost the same part of the field, jinking. I don't think he beat as many people as Tedesco, but have you got a like a tiger moment now?
Yeah, I do. That one was pretty obvious, but I'm going to go the Alex Seyfarth try, bumping off and scoring under the post. The bloke has had an outstanding game today. Probably the best game I've ever seen him play in our colours, really. So that's my like a tiger.
Sorry, you go on.
Yeah, I just want to jump in on Alex Seyfarth as well. It wasn't just the try, though. He made some really crucial tackles today.
Even the high shot saved the try there.
It wasn't high.
That was a really harsh penalty.
That was a great tackle. That was a great tackle.
And there was a number of times where it looked like the Titans were going to go through the middle of us after they did at the end of the first half. But in that second half, there was a number of times I was threatening to go through again. And it was Alex Seyfarth making that tackle time and again. And I'm a guy who's fairly critical of him, but he was outstanding today.
Leichhardt Oval. I mean, people can wax lyrical about it, but 24-12 down. Do we win anywhere else today than there? Because I mentioned it to Adel. Once we got to 24-18, you could hear the crowd trying to lift the team, and I don't think that happens elsewhere.
I want to credit the club first, Eddie, because they got everyone in the mood. I mean, I was lucky, like I said, to be
They were
with
singing
Kathy
in the first half.
pre-game, being on the field and seeing how they were getting ready. And most importantly, I had my eyes on Benji. Benji was ready to play. I'm telling you, Benji was ready to play. I have not seen him so pumped up. When all the famous ex-West Tigers and Balmain players were doing the lap of honour, and you could see Benji like hugging him, and then they're like revving him up, saying, "Come on, we're on today." And mate, I was ready to go before the kickoff. So that sets the tone. And yeah, Leichhardt Oval, we Shane and I joke about home grounds and what have you. And I'm a big believer that most of our games should be at Campbelltown. I'm not going to back off from that. That's our future homeland. But, Leichhardt Oval does produce miracles, and we've won 3 out of 3 there this year. So credit everyone that went today. They made it a great atmosphere.
And there was something extra special about today because being the last game for a season or so, we spoke to so many people at the Orange Grove and around the ground early that had come from interstate or from out west, out in the Central West, that have made the trip just to be there at Leichhardt for that last game.
I promise you, I would not have gone today if it wasn't the last game for 2 years. I wasn't up to it.
I was in the city yesterday. It was my daughter's birthday, but I was running into people from interstate yesterday who had travelled down for the game and were doing the sightseeing stuff around Sydney, who came up and said hello. The couple of guys at Luna Park who watched the pod, so hello out to those guys. But it was really like it was a big event today. I can't believe how many interstate people we spoke to today, Steve.
But there's only two notches on the volume control at Leichhardt Oval. Like it's either absolutely red hot or dead silent, right?
And it was dead silent there at one
But
point
like you
today.
said, at 24-12, we were dead and buried, and that wind to me was about a 12-point wind. So we were going to have to find 12 points into the wind. How, I don't know. And I'm just thinking this is going to be a bloodbath, and it's a shame because we started so well, but you just had to accept that there are players there that haven't played much first grade, guys that are having to do bigger minutes. Mate, that's a heroic win today. I mean, that had Benji's DNA written all over it. I know Jerome Luai's the man. That was Benji Marshall's win today.
Smarter people than us will make the decision where the club plays its home games in 2028. But with Campbelltown out of action that year, there was an article today that said Leichhardt Oval could host all our games because we don't have an agreement with up the road, Combank or whatever it is. But why not? Why not?
Well,
like the numbers don't lie. Like I know it was a Titans team day, he's coming second last, and we just got over the line. But we are a 55% winning club in our history at Leichhardt Oval. We're a 39% winning club everywhere else.
So if you're asking me, that's what I think. Play every game at Leichhardt for that reason. You know, like at the end of the day, the more football games we win, the more people will come through the gates, the more merchandise we'll sell, all that sort of stuff. What will stop people who make these decisions from making that decision is the money. The money they make out of Leichhardt is so inferior to the money they make out of Combank Stadium. You know, with the corporates and like it's a huge difference.
Well, why were Pascoe and Lee, when they were their last decision, I think, was to go back to the 6-6 split? Is there an effect that you can't measure in terms of if you start winning and make finals? Surely you're going to make more money off the back of that.
I think that is the unmeasurable, right? And that's something you can't quantify it. But like you know, I know there are two arguments at the club. There are people who say we got to play at venues that we're going to win at, right? Like we don't want to play Parramatta at Combank and have 2/3 of the crowd Parramatta supporters, right? And then there's the accountants' argument that, you know, we make 700,000 at Combank, we make 100,000 at.
But if the ground's getting renovated to suit more people, obviously there's going to be more corporate facilities there. What's the issue?
That changes it. Yeah,
What's the issue? Like then we've got the corporate. We might not have as many as Accor and places like that, but if you've got those extra corporate facilities, there's no reason to stop us playing as many games as we want there.
Not to say we can't have good wins elsewhere. Like we just had a great win at Combank against the Bulldogs where we were backs to the wall, but it just seems to happen more often at Leichhardt.
Yeah, and it always seems at Leichhardt to be a win that the crowd has kind of got behind and pushed, and we saw that again today. We've seen that on a number of occasions where the crowd seems to lift the side to a victory, and that doesn't happen at other grounds. I don't think we win that game today playing at Combank. I don't think we win that game today playing at Campbelltown. It was, and it being the last game played into it a little bit as well. I'm sure the players felt that as well because they all talk about how much they love playing there. So I think that's what it gives you. It gives you a game that you'll win like today that you may not win anywhere else.
Overall take on the game, I think you predicted 31-30 during the week, so you weren't far off. You said both teams' defence would be pretty awful. It didn't look like that 20 minutes in. It was almost like a little bit of back and forth, but then the floodgates opened, both sides. It
was a really unusual game from the beginning. We were dominating, but you just realise without Jareem Buller, how are we going to score? Like our focal point was the bombs that you mentioned on the Tuesday preview show, isolating Kenny. But other than that, it just looked like a lot of pedestrian ball movement. And then you look at the Titans' 3 tries, they were all long-range tries. None of them were from the red zone. They were all roughly from between halfway and the 30-metre line, and actually even before the halfway line in one case. And that was quite disturbing because that was 2 of them were straight up the middle. One was on the edge where Kai Pearce-Paul had come off. But in my heart of hearts, I just thought even if we lose this game by 6 points or 8 points, they're having a go. Like I know it's not good enough because we lose every year, but the problem with our club, and it's not actually the club's problem, but the problem is the fact that we haven't played finals for 15 years, and every loss,
gorilla around the back,
every loss just adds to that desire and expectation and need for us to get back to the finals.
I'm quite relaxed about that though, because we're decimated. Like you said, like Benji, like he would have wanted a reaction today, and even at halftime, I'm like you, I'm thinking that was a fucking good reaction. Like the first half an hour, we dominated, and all of a sudden, You're shell-shocked at halftime. We're down 18-12.
Well, apologies for being repetitive. I said if we can just hang on against Canterbury, lose by 50 to Penrith, beat the Titans and lose by 50 to the Dolphins, I'll take
alive.
it. I just wanted 2 out of 4 wins. We've got 2 out of 3. Next week's a free roll. But how do you expect players like that to back up when some of them almost played 80 minutes and guys that don't regularly play long minutes as well? And we've lost Kai Pearce-Paul now, but you know, there's some really good Lanyon. We got to credit, guys. I know everyone else is going to get the plaudits, but
No, he deserves massive raps. He was fantastic.
But I think what also made Lanyon's performance even better, and it's sad to say this, but I have to be critical of this. Latu's performance as a hooker, both with service and defensively, was awful. So I am worried about his development as a player, but it just made me realise a hooker's got to play hooker. Like, let's just not putting people in different positions and let them be. You know what? If it's him, if it's Hayward, whoever. I mean, it was an upgrade on Hope, wasn't it? But you know, poor old Latu Fainu, he had an absolute stinker. I know he copped a head knock, and I apologise, you know, for that. Like, he's trying his guts out, but he just doesn't suit being a dummy half.
First 25 minutes, we looked more like the forward pack that we look like when Appy's playing, when we had Lanyon in the team, right? And when he went off and Latu came on, we lost that momentum in the middle.
Totally.
We loosened up defensively.
Yeah, defensively fell apart when he went on.
Yeah, big time.
It wasn't just him, it was Bunty came off at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, we're up 12-0, then they both came off in the middle, went to crap.
I suppose my main point, having only watched the game, you know, live, is that we looked like we had forward dominance and we had that momentum roll that we get with Appy, with this young fella. The minute Latu came on, we lost that.
Yeah.
We didn't have it.
I've always been a little bit concerned around Latu and that hooker role. His service isn't quick enough from the ground. That's what I think Lanyon gave us today. He gave really good service to those forwards, got them on the front foot, which we haven't seen from anyone else other than Appy. I thought he was fantastic today. And for a young guy making his NRL debut, his defence was outstanding. He hit hard and he held that middle together really strongly today. I was super impressed with him. I'd like to see him get he should be the backup moving forward.
I think he will be the backup. He obviously had a couple of tiny errors, but what I loved was when there was an opportunity for him to run, he took it, he backed himself. He wasn't scared of being in first grade. He's like, this is an opportunity. I'm going to grab it with 2 hands. And let's face it, unless he gets injured, like everyone else is getting injured, he's going to be on that bench for the rest of the year.
But you know what, Rob? One thing I know is he didn't overplay his hand in that regard either.
Correct.
Like a young guy getting his go in first grade, it's very easy to be a little bit selfish and run too much to try to show what you can do, and he didn't do that. Right?
Yeah.
His service was really good. Though I'm keen to go and watch the game again because I can't remember who was serving the ball. But geez, there was a period there in the second half where there was a lot of poor service out of dummy half, like the passes going behind Madden's shoulder a couple of times.
He might have done it once, and I think he lost the ball on the last tackle on one of the sets when we were attacking
in the first half.
But you know, like, you expect an error or two, but overall, like, if you see that performance today and you knew what he was going to do last Tuesday, you'd say, I'll take that performance. Win or lose.
The question I almost ask weekly, it seems, but Latu, and I posed it to Coach because Coach was still adamant, or he thinks it's time for him to be the 7 still. But if he's still going to be playing in that bench role, would he be almost better off, or us better off as a club, getting him back to halfback in State Cup? Because he's taken a couple of HIAs now and he's struggling defensively in the middle. And I know he's the sort of guy that's never going to complain, but it just seems like another year that's going by and his development is stagnating.
I would like to see him get a decent run at halfback, whether that's first grade or reserve grade, because even when he came on today, so he played hooker when he first came on today, then he went off for the HIA and the issue around his jaw. When he came back on, he went into that lock role. So he's not getting any consistency really in any role in our side at the moment, and I think that's to the detriment of his development. I'd like to see him get a decent go at halfback.
They're going to stick with Jock though off a win, aren't they? And he was solid today.
I'm hoping AD's back for the next game, so
I think
he's got to be getting close.
I think it's an interesting point, mate, because what do we want him to get consistency in? Because I don't think he's going to be our starting half.
Well, he's not going to be a hooker.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying Adam Dewey's going to be our halfback. Jerome Luai is going to be our 5'8" for this season and next season. So maybe he does need consistency in coming on at 14 and going into that lock sort of role.
Look, if you view him as your future half, and I think the club still does, then if he's not playing in that halfback role in first grade, then I've got him playing in that halfback role in reserve grade. I think he needs time to develop into that role. If he's not ready for that role in first grade yet, then he needs to be developing it in reserve grade. And I think what Lanyon coming through today,
there was no solution before today.
no, there wasn't. Lanyon's shown that he can at least make a go of that role. The reports are he's played some lock himself in the lower grades. He got Jersey Flag Player of the Year last year, so he's a quality young footballer. I would be giving him an opportunity at this point in time.
I don't think we've got the resources at the moment to be able to play Latu back in Cup. I think he's in our best 17 players, right?
How do you develop him then into that halfback role if that's what your plan is?
Yeah, well, I don't know. But at the moment, the minute Dewey comes back, he will go back to halfback, and Latu's going to have to serve his time in that utility role. And we can't have a player of his quality at the moment sitting in reserve grade, I don't think.
Always seems like it's just like we can't sit back and just enjoy a win with no injuries. Like even against Canberra, I was like, we're 5-2. I should be ecstatic, but we've just lost so and so and so. And today we lose KPP and it looks like a Peck, and Peck means 6 months, 3 months. He's out for the season.
Once he came off the field, I thought even if we win, we're stuffed. Like we've basically all our back rows missing. Twal, Samuela and KPP now. It's crazy. But it was great of the other guys to step up. Credit to Tony Suka for having those 71 minutes today. He was very good, all things considered. But KPP's a huge loss. He's a good target for us in attack. He's good with run meters out of our end of the field in terms of yardage. He's got a great offload on him. You can't replace him and Samuel.
Sione spent some time back on an edge today as well and didn't do well in that role once again. So having both Sam and KPP out, that's a critical area for us.
He was actually named on the edge in the starting lineup today, Sione, and Alex was named at lock.
Just a season wrecked by injury, Steve. But that's what I think we're most proud of as a fan base is, we're 7-6 and we're hanging on, and some of these wins aren't pretty, but in previous years we just wouldn't have got them.
No, definitely not. And I don't know that our season's wrecked yet. Like sitting in 10th place, we're a chance of getting Dewey back next week. Taylor May seemed to get through the game well. Buller seems
Appy
to be
back
getting
next week.
Appy again next week. Like he'll be in and out, won't he? If he plays Origin for a couple games. But the real concern for us now is our back row is like we've just got nothing there.
And there's no we've got two quality black back rowers in the club, but there's nothing below them. I'm hoping Ethan Roberts is back from that injury that he's picked up again soon, because I think realistically we actually need him as one of those back rowers at the moment, because there's no one else.
Turned out now too that Appy Coruscant selection in State of Origin is an absolute blessing for us, because we wouldn't have discovered Lanyon. We would have had Latu playing that backup role.
Not a blessing for us if we lose a Dragons game.
But the point is, like, we've identified someone that can play some first grade now. So from that point of view, it is a blessing. We've got to look to the future.
What do you think of Jock's game today?
Mixed bag. I thought he did a lot of good things. Unfortunately, he did a lot of, defensively, he's still awful. What really upset me was some of the kicks in the first half. So the bombs were great because he was giving Buller, a chance to contest the bombs.
Good timing for him.
Which one of them was poor because of when the in goal. Yep. That's fair enough. That's just, everyone's going to make a mistake every now and then. But I thought the general kicks, when we were on our 40-metre line, going down the middle to Kinney and giving an option to go left, right or middle, and he carved us up on a couple of those returns as well. I just thought there was no purpose in some of those kicks. I much prefer the Luai left foot kick down that sort of 10-metre passageway from sideline to 10 metres in. That's the sort of kick we need to be doing more of. You've got to be kicking the corners. And maybe we were trying to keep the ball away from Philip Sammy. I don't know, but let Sammy have the ball instead of Kenny any day of the week.
Jerome did a great one in the first half. I think ended up in the in goal, bounced back into the in goal.
It was a great kick.
Yeah. Like I've been saying for a few weeks now, I love watching Jerome Luai and Jock Madden share the kicking duties. I actually think Jerome Luai is a more consistent kicker than Jock Madden. I think Jock can put a good kick in, but he gets them wrong too. There was one moment there where Jock put a kick in, like just a fifth tackle half kick across the post, and it landed about 8 metres short of the goal line and was taken easily, and then they ran it out from there. And I just turned to the guys I was with and I said, that's the difference between elite and good, right? Like Nathan Cleary would have put that 1 metre off the try line. There would have been more pressure coming through and the chance of a dropout, right? he just doesn't quite get them right.
He does it a couple of times a game where he does that little defensive chip kick. You know, he doesn't give you time to get underneath, and he's got a good kicking game. And credit to him, he kicked 6 out of 6 today in terms of the goal kicking, which we need while Adam's missing. We got some more water coming. Oh, thank you. Is that for me?
A couple of Panadols in there,
You know,
mate.
funny thing, Daniel, is I think all these boys have been on a bender. You guys sound all down. Fire the hell up, boys. We're winning.
For every
Come
game,
on.
it's more relief for me than anything.
we can't get a word in because you're sooking about how bad you feel.
Oh, here we go.
Getting people to
here
bring
we go.
water
Yeah, right.
in for you.
Just go have some time with Brent Read. Will you?
Look, for Jock, for me, today you got what you get from a backup half. He'll do some good things and he will do some poor things. And that's why we're so desperate for Adam Dewey to come back, because you got a guy who actually has an impact on the game. Outside of his goal kicking, I think his impact's relatively small at this point in time.
Those 4 tries in basically 15 minutes either side of half time, is that just a defensive system breaking down? Is it good identification by the Titans, or is it just, I think Coach hinted, it's just to lack of personnel on the field and guys can't do the job for 80 minutes? Because some of those tries, even though they look quite spectacular from the Gold Coast and they have some awesome attacking players, but you don't expect a side to concede 3 tries from sort of halfway or beyond.
The first try was a good offload from Fermor, which might have gone forward, might not have. I'm not sure. That's normally where Kai Pearce-Paul defends, so you can kind of forgive that. But those other 2 tries, the spacing in the middle of the field was horrendous, and that could be just down to the fact that guys don't know
Not next
who
to
the
each other.
They're not next to each other. They're not used to each other, but they weren't first grade standard defensive. Like, they were too easy. Like, they probably could have scored another couple of tries as well. They just, like I said, you think that our red zone defense might be the issue. We defended pretty well in the red zone today, except for the Fermor try in the second half.
Yeah.
Everything else was like long range tries.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be. But what that second,
You're wrong.
That second.
I can't remember. There's
Yeah,
so many
Brent
tries.
Read told us you're wrong too, by the way.
Don't worry, Brent. I'll see you next week. You're better than these blokes. Let me tell you any day. The second and third try was through the same gap, through the same hole, wasn't it? Like, you know, so that's an issue to me. Like, on the run, trying to they identified a weakness in us and got through for that second try, and then they went straight back there and got through again. Right, like that's on us, right? We've got to.
Yeah.
Do that. But the other thing is, in one of those, it was the off. It wasn't just the defensive laps; it was the offload. And we're a bit poor at wrapping up the ball today. I haven't seen the stats, but I'd be surprised. They got a lot of offloads away.
But there was a couple of times towards the end of that second half, there was a couple of players that got a little bit lazy in the effort areas around the defence and closing those gaps up. Latu Fainu was one of them, which sometimes you'd say was fatigue, but he hadn't actually been on the field that long. So that was disappointing for me, is that lack in that effort area of closing those gaps down.
Shows the character of the side, because I'm a bit like you. I think we're gone at half time because, like you said, it's a 12-point win. We get to the 12-0 lead, and then all of a sudden you're 18 and then 24-12 down. But that first Jerome Luai try I thought was a real turning point because it got the crowd back into the game. You could hear everyone lift and you could see the players running a bit harder and start to believe.
Yeah, I thought we were a chance at halftime, but once they scored 3 minutes into the second half, I thought there's no way we're coming back from this. But that's the magic of Leichhardt Oval and the players. And yeah, it was, you said it, the crowd lifted them, but I thought they were just, like, they'd had that period basically from the 30th minute or the 45th minute where it was all Titans, 24 points uninterrupted. And you just think, how do we pull back the momentum? And more importantly, you got a lot of blokes out there that really needed leadership and don't know what they're doing. And that's where you need your Bullers and your Luais and your safe halves and those sort of guys to step up, and they did. And, mate, that's really, like, I can't wait to watch the game. Like, I need to see a replay of that in full, which we don't get the luxury of having a 4 o'clock game today.
For me, that first try is the start of Jerome Luai. We've spoken many times that we haven't seen him put the side on his back and carry them. That's what he did with that first try. He for a really nice ball to, I can't remember who he put in the gap, but the ball came back to him.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of effort from him to actually score that try. It wasn't just run over and put it down. He fought to get to that ground. He accelerated through that gap. He went into contact and he fought to get that ball down. And for me, that was the difference we saw from him today. It's really, that was the point where he said, get on my back, I'm going to bring you boys home. And he got 2 more tries after that. So,
And you know what was really important from my perspective in that is the try before they scored just after half time. It wasn't the fact that they scored after 3 minutes. It was the way they scored. Like, that was a soft try. And getting towed up by 60-odd last week, they could very easily have dropped their heads at that point, and the Titans could have rolled through. But that arrested it, right?
But I'll tell you what, news alert, boys, if you think Luai's going to score 1 try a week, let alone 3 tries a week, it's not going to happen. Like, I was just happy with the rest of his game. His line speed in defence was incredible. So
The rest of his game's been pretty good all year.
The pass, I think he laid on to Talon before he gave it to Strathfield for the
It was a
first try.
really nice ball.
That's the sort of stuff we expect from Jerome Luai, those sort of try assists and that, the try assist line breaks and whatever. That's what we need to see from him. I don't expect him to score 3 tries. I really don't. But that last try, I can't tell you the satisfaction I got out of it. It's probably why my voice has gone, because I went ape shit.
He could have laid in a couple more. He actually put a beautiful kick in that bounced up for Toa and we got dragged down. But, he was just absolutely exceptional day, world-class performance.
Yeah, I arguably one of the best performances of his career, in my opinion. Definitely the best game he's played for the West Tigers, and hopefully we get that again next week and the week after, because today people say he doesn't have an impact on games. He doesn't get us over the line in close games. Today, he put the side on his back.
I thought it was only Tito's error in terms of not touching the ball when he put his foot. He actually got the rule right in his head. He did everything right, and then he sort of panicked.
Then second-guessed himself.
And I thought we actually dominated that second half, but that way I think they got a 6 again off a Campbell grubber that deflected back, and they end up getting back in front. And I thought, oh, no.
Yeah, I think it turned again when they kicked out in the full, didn't it? And then we got
They made a couple of errors themselves.
That was a
So they
horrendous
kicked
kick.
out on the full, and then it turned back the other way when we could have got him kicking out on the full again, and he pulled his hand away.
But you got to take your hat off to the team. You really do, because we've been towed badly, and we have fallen apart defensively, and the confidence must be low in that regard. Trusting those defensive systems when you've been smashed defensively, we just didn't give up. Right, just did not give up today.
Some of those outside backs performances, they had some big numbers at halftime. I thought that was one of the standouts of the first half. Just hard running by even Strathfield. Toa had 100 metres at halftime. I think Tito had 9 hit-ups in the first 25 minutes.
Tito's hit-ups on the third and fourth tackle in that first half particularly, you really notice the difference there, and that goes back to your point of wanting to have him on the wing. I don't know what the difference is if you got number 4 on your back or number 2 on your back, but whatever. His hit-ups were amazing. Herbert was really good, I thought. Glad to have him back. Toa.
He's an enigma, Herbert, isn't he? You laughed when I said that.
Oh, no, I laughed because I know what Gary's going to say, because we had this conversation about the difference between
Let Rob finish first.
being on the wing. Yeah,
No, go on. I want to hear what Gary's got to say, and then I'll chime in.
What it is, what you get with Tito is when he's on the wing, he gets more decision about when he takes that hit up. So if he's taken that after that first play the ball, what he will always get you is a nice, quick play the ball, because he finds his front. And that allows people to play off the back of that. Not only that, and I don't know that he did it today, but there'll be sets where he'll do 2 hit-ups in a set. You don't get that from him when he plays in the centres, and that's the difference for me. And I think he showed that difference today, why he's so important to getting our set started. I honestly think he's not the biggest winger in the comp, but he is as good as anyone at getting a set started, because he gets between defenders, which allows him to get that quick play the ball.
Right at the end, I probably didn't have the balls to say it on the air because he knows 1,000 times more than me, Adel. But Adel said at 30-28 up, he would have taken the 2. And I would never have taken the 2. I think it was more talking about mentality, saying prove we can be a good defensive side, but we've proved we're not a good defensive side. And I thought it was interesting because Madden and Luai talked about it, and I actually thought Madden was quite adamant, keep them down here. Even if we don't score, make them go 90 metres or kick a 40-metre field goal if you're good enough to do that.
If Adel says it was the right decision, we shouldn't have gone for goal, then he looks like a hypocrite, because he's always said he takes the 2 points no matter what. He did compliment them for talking about it, and
the call was Benji's. The call came from Benji.
But Madden and Jerome were very animated discussing.
Yeah, but I can criticise that too. I love the fact that they spoke about it and talked about it. I know the penalty was in the middle of the field, 5 metres out.
It's the right decision to take the tap.
It's the right decision. No, it's not the right decision. You're 3.5 minutes left. You're trying to kill the clock. Kick the fucker out in the touch.
No.
Kick it out in the touch.
Right. Okay. I thought you were saying
kick it out in the
goal.
touch and milk another 30 seconds. If you want to start, game managing the clock properly, you kick for touch. Okay. And don't tell me, he might have shanked it or whatever. No. Just put the ball out and soak another 20 or 30 seconds up. Take your time. Let the ball boy not throw the ball in quickly. Milk even more time, and then go for it. But I think the point about the goal is, and I heard you say it because I caught the end of your podcast, it's the short kickoff.
You can't. It's 50-50
There's no guarantee we're getting the ball from the kickoff, and you've got them pinned in their end. And correct me if I'm wrong, did they get down the end? After we took that tap,
we scored.
I don't know.
No, I know we ended up scoring at the end, but what I'm saying, we got that penalty with
No,
about
they
3.5
didn't
to go.
get
They
back.
never even got over the halfway line.
Rob, even if we get the ball back
from
from the kickoff, Fanua Pole made an error 7 minutes ago. That could happen.
There is nothing.
That was the
more-
only time I lost my shit during the game.
Oh, I think you saw what I said on our group chat at the time, which we can't repeat as well.
There is nothing-
He had a great game too, by the way. It's just that pass hit him on the chest, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, go on.
Nothing more West Tigers than kicking that goal. They kick off, get the ball, score in the corner,
Right
win the
decision.
game. There is nothing more West Tigers than that.
But like you said,
So it
if,
was
you,
the right
if you kick
decision.
it to go 6 ahead, it's a no-brainer. You go,
course, yeah, but
you
2
go
to
6
4.
ahead, and not just that too. I mean, you'll kill 90 seconds
yeah.
off the clock
Yeah.
as well. But no, well,
Yeah,
it worked
okay
out.
with that
It worked
decision.
out to be the right decision anyway. That's,
Yeah,
that's the most important thing.
I don't even mind the quick tap. It just centers you in the field. It gives you options both sides. It was enough to slow the game up, and we scored off the back of it anyway.
I don't think we were trying to score.
There was a little bit
I
of
don't think we were trying to score. I think the
some
plan
floating
was
passes.
I
Though.
think-
One went behind Terrell May, and I thought, what
Yeah,
on
I
earth is
reckon we
going
were
on here?
gonna try and put it in the corner and have them 95 metres near the corner post. But it turned out that pass you mentioned that went behind Terrell, suddenly we're 20 metres out, and then Jerome's never going to die with the ball, and he couldn't get to the corner post, so he started stepping back in, and he identified Justin Pascoe and got past him and scored the try.
There was also a really nice run after that bad pass as well. I can't remember if it was Tony Suka or someone actually
I
got
think
us
it was
back
towards the middle.
Back towards the middle, got us nice and centered, nice and close to the line, and then Jerome scored off the back of that. So we rectified that.
Some of the forwards, Steve, that stood out today. Terrell had big numbers at halftime. I think he had 120 metres. At safe half, I think Garry said played 70-something minutes. Tony Suka got on early in the game. And I thought, I haven't seen the replay, but Sione made some strong runs, maybe struggled defensively. But what did you make of the forward pack? Any standouts?
Yeah, pretty much what you've just said there, Eddie. Really, yeah, we got the same thing from Terrell that we always get. Seafarth in the middle is so much better playing that. You know, whether it's lock or front row, he was really strong. I was really impressed with Tony Suka. We mentioned this early in the pod that he played extra minutes today. Did a really fine job. Sione, I don't understand. You know, maybe it's because we have to. We've got no one else. But you know, Sione out on the edge and Sione in the middle, two different players. You know, Sione in the middle is dominating, right? And he's much stronger defensively because he doesn't get
At the injury
isolated.
force that, though, with KPP?
Well, it must be, you know. But I'm just saying, in an ideal world, I'd much rather him in there. But yeah, that was strong. You know, you can't forget the fact that, you know, 10 minutes before half time, we had 2 tries go right through the middle, and we've got to address that. But you know, they worked bloody hard.
Alex Seafarth, like I've been highly critical of him now for a long time. Today, it was 100 metres, like he ran 99 metres or something, but it was 54 tackles. 54 tackles, 2 missed for a guy who I question defensively quite regularly, and crucial, important tackles today. He was the best forward on the field for us, for me. Terrell May, 225 metres, I think he finished with, and close to 50 tackles as well. Those guys were fantastic. Fanua Pole, I think that's his game of the season. He should be coming off the bench every week. He showed today why he's better coming off the bench. So, yeah, our forward pack did a really strong job today.
Bunty good enough to start for Polo to come off the bench?
Based on today, we held him to nil. Okay, while he was on the field, I thought his hit-ups were really strong. We all know he's going to be a defensive liability if teams get a lot of ball and keep turning the ball back inside and playing at him, because his lateral movement isn't great. I just think, with the exception of Terrell May, all our forwards made mistakes, but who cares? Like Seafarth made a number of mistakes in the first half, but they're all heart. They were all heart. They were all effort. They played on emotion. They wouldn't lie down when, you know, you and me probably thought at 24-12, it's over. Like, season's gone. They're trying their best, but we've squeezed everything out of this. A heroic performance from all the boys. Very proud of them.
I think you talk about Bunty. I think when he's defending with Tristan Hope on the field, I think it's a problem. But this young fella looks strong defensively today, and so I think when you got strong defenders around Bunty, you know, you can handle that, and then you get the benefit of his strong running game.
The one thing too is with our defence, we talked about the second and third tries going up the middle, which obviously is unacceptable. The spacing is really bad. But I actually thought our marker defence was really good today. And that's been our Achilles heel in those big losses we've had. The marker defence definitely improved, but obviously the spacing wasn't. And don't forget, guys, we're missing. We keep saying we're missing. I'm not making excuses, but we know Jerome sets the line speed out wide, but Appy and Twal set the line speed for the forwards. Maybe someone like Bunty Afoa, when those guys are back, you can I don't know if hide is the right word, but just make his job a lot easier to defend.
Speaking about line speed, Alex Seyfarth worked really hard on line speed today. So, keep giving him raps, and I feel a bit odd. I feel a bit dirty giving him so many raps, but yeah, he drove our line speed in the middle today.
That big orange beard. You should be proud of giving him raps. Come on,
mate. Redheads.
Never stick together.
No,
Yeah, but even guys that didn't play well, like I've mentioned Latu Fain, I thought he had a really poor game, but credit to him for coming back after a Category 2 head knock. Like, they're all courageous. They're all put their bodies on the line. They all wanted to win. Just so happy for the coach. Just really, really happy for Benji Marshall.
When we had that coaches' night at the beginning of the season, they showed you a lot of tape with, and one of those things they showed was Seyfarth. And the number of dummy runs he does, number of times he gets back and just runs a line, whether he's going to get the ball or not, and the effort plays. And I actually was speaking to John Morris about it, and I said, what is it about him? Why is he so popular? And they said, because of his effort plays, because of the stuff he does off the ball time and time and time again. And today, this is not off the ball, but his defensive efforts, there are a few times that I noticed watching live, try-saving tackles or at least break-stopping tackles.
And he scored an impactful try today.
Yeah.
That bump off.
Busting through. Yeah.
Mate, that poor hooker I can't remember his name for the title.
Pasco.
Oh, mate, he got ran over.
I jokingly said Justin.
He did.
Yeah.
He got
I
ran
did
over
that Tuesday.
time and time and time again today.
Who were we going to talk about? I was going to talk about. Who were we talking about? Seyfarth.
You talk about
Oh,
forwards.
it's big going.
You
Talking about
the
forwards.
yes.
KPP, who are we going to put on the right edge for him next week?
It's got to be Sukkar, doesn't it, boys? I mean, although we're missing two edge back rowers, but you would assume Sukkar, you would assume Seyfarth stays at lock. Unfortunately, he's just going to have to get better at it. It'll be Sione on an edge again.
I'm hoping Roberts is
unless
back.
Roberts can play, yeah.
You want Roberts there, though. As good as he was, mate, he does miss a lot of tackles.
Yeah, Sione on the edge is defensively just as bad, but what you get from Roberts is I think you get more impact with him with the ball.
We are coming up against the prettiest team to
we
watch
don't like
rugby
pretty.
league play, and they run their block shapes better than anyone. You need someone that knows what they're doing. They're not a stopgap. I mean, I'd be happy to have Roberts on one side and Sukkar on the other if that's the case, but we need guys playing their positions against a team that's red
No
hot.
matter who's playing in that edge position next week, they're going to be a stopgap because there's no one who's of the quality of the two guys we got out.
No, understandable, but they're probably basically out for the year. Like Kai Pearce-Paul's probably gone for the year,
Kai
and
Pearce-Paul's gone for
Samuel
the
is
year.
at least 6 weeks away. So
That's why I'd be looking at Roberts because he's a guy whose future is more likely to be in that second row than Sione.
yeah,
Just on those shape plays, like they started to they put Herbert out at right centre, and then they moved Stafford across to left wing.
Yeah.
Was that just to cover Macassini, or was that to strengthen our left edge defence because they were worried about the shape the Titans were going to play down their right? Because if that's the case, they will probably go with that again next week. You would think against a team like the
Unless
Dolphins.
Macassini's back.
Unless Macassini, yeah. Well, I don't know, mate, because who's stronger defensively? I suppose you're going to put Macassini's played more wing than Stafford, I'd imagine, but yeah.
Stafford did a good job on the wing today.
Yeah.
I remembered what I was going to talk about. When I forgot
Nice
where
of
we
you to
were
come
and
back,
what
mate.
year, what it was. But someone, I don't know who it was, but it must have been someone within the Tigers camp. They asked them the question, who's the most likely of the squad to become a first-grade coach? And you know what their answer was? Alex Seyfarth, which surprised me
Wow.
for some of the things he does. But he must be an intelligent footballer, even though some of the things he does on the field
I can
don't
understand.
suggest
I
that.
can understand why you forgot that.
Yes, but one guy I haven't mentioned, and I feel like I have barely mentioned in both shows, but Adel actually gave him his man of the match, is Jareem Buller. I ask you the same question I asked him. Is he becoming an elite fullback? Because I think the word great is overused at time, but is he becoming a top 5 fullback in the NRL?
Mate, he looked elite pre-game. I was watching his warm-up, and he just looked like a wildcat. Like he was just ready to pounce. And honestly, watching that game today, every time he touched the ball, you felt something was going to happen. So I'd made my mind up after about 20 minutes. Jareem Buller is just light years ahead of everyone on the field, and he's going to be man of the match. Thankfully, Jerome Luai, it changed my mind there. But I think he is elite, or he's just so good in our team, it makes him look elite. Either way, I wouldn't swap him for anyone. I love him as a fullback.
What impressed me about Jareem today was the amount of times he was playing both sides of the field
Yeah.
in the same set.
Yeah.
So he'd link onto the left hand side. He'd do that sweep play on the left hand side and would make a play towards the middle of the field. And by the time that next tackle was coming up, he was on the right hand side to to play that linking, that sweeping role on the right-hand side. And he was doing that all game.
And I don't think he made an error at all. And I'm going to go back to what you said about that challenge, or what you thought should have been a challenge.
Yep.
I think under normal circumstances we win that challenge.
The rest said he moved forward or something.
But given
They
that the
couldn't.
dope said that
Right.
he moved
They
forward, I think we might have lost the challenge. So I actually think it was good composure not to use the challenge up there.
The other thing about Dream Buller is he's a genuine try-scoring opportunity every time that midfield, that middle field bomb goes up. He's a genuine chance of getting that and falling over the line.
Oh, he got one for Taylor May today.
yeah,
so
yeah.
it
But
actually
he
ended up
nearly
working
got
there.
another one.
Yeah, that's right.
So-
He got held up over the line.
But
correct.
he gets there. Like it's hard enough in today's game to actually get to the target.
Yeah.
He gets there and competes, and he's so athletic. He brings it down. You know.
But today he didn't take that. The fullback for the Titans took that ball for that Taylor May try today, and he took it away
Then
from
took
him.
it off him. Yeah.
Like, it was fantastic.
Let's do 3, 2, 1, Rob. Adel surprised me. I don't know because he talked up Luai for the whole show, and then he gave Jareem 3 and Jerome 2, and he gave Seyfarth 1. What's your allotment of points?
Mine's really easy tonight. I think it's straightforward. It's Luai 3 for all the reasons we've mentioned in the show. Dream Buller 2 for all the reasons we've mentioned in the show. And 1 point goes to Leichhardt Oval. There's no place like it. And to the West Tigers faithful that were out there today, you were part of the reason that we won the game today.
Especially the ones that stayed the whole game.
I think you made a great
go
point.
and get stuffed.
I
All
think
right?
you made a.
Some of us are doing stuff in our pants while trying to get
why,
you.
Why did you jump it? Because I just had the bet. I was just going to say, should that be half a point because you're only there for half a game and you stuffed it.
Well, you know what? He was standing outside the ground today. I saw a photo that Shane Colt put up, and he was just waiting for someone to recognise him. And sure enough, no one, everyone left him alone, and no one came.
But your
up to him.
point was interesting because even though the club hasn't had much money to spend on the ground, one of the things that used to frustrate me about the place is the speakers had cut out half time, or you couldn't hear the music after they scored. They've really improved that experience over the last 1 or 2 years.
The music was good. Thank God we didn't hear "Don't Ever Tear Us Apart" by In Excess. That would have absolutely killed the mood. Like I said, what they did pre-game, but it was just that whole atmosphere, just getting in there. And I'm just thinking, geez, I wish I felt good enough to be here. But no, that is the
dancing on
way.
the hill
That's the
again.
way I want to remember Leichhardt Oval, boys. That is the greatest way to send what it is now, off into the wilderness.
3, 2, 1 for me. It's pretty close to Adel. I'm going Luai for 3, Buller for 2, and Alex Seyfarth, who I thought was absolutely outstanding today, gets the 1 point for me.
I'm going to change it up a little bit just to be different. I'm going to say Jerome Luai. He was outstanding. Seyfarth for sure, 2 points. Great. But I'm going to give. I could give it to Dream Buller for sure. There's a few you could probably give it to. I'm going to give it to Tony Suka for some great defensive work on edge and playing very long minutes and doing a job better than he's had to, or as he's had to.
You didn't want to
today.
give Brent Read a point?
I'll give Brent Read a point.
Okay.
Come on, our pod, just Brent Read, we'll give you a point. Benji Marshall, I think he's proving all the doubters wrong, Rob. Just the way he handled last week. I know you can't praise a coach when they lose 68-0, but he just looks extremely comfortable in his own skin. He's not afraid to call out his own players, and he got the reaction a good coach should today.
I'm really looking forward to watching the presser that you guys seem to have seen that I haven't. But like I've said earlier in the show, given what I saw pre-game of him, how he was going up to the players, like I said, how he approached the former players, what Leichhardt means to him, he knew how much it meant to our organisation to send Leichhardt Oval out a winner before the renovation. Not only that, just for our season, to get above that 50% ledger now. So what are we now, 7 and 6 or 6 and
7
5?
and 6.
7 and 6. As long as we don't, once we sink below 50%, I think we're too far behind the rest of the pack. It's kept us in touch.
Only 5 wins away from 12 might not be the magical number this year, but 6 wins will get you in.
We just can't keep losing troops, guys, and we need to get some players back. But anyone who is critical of that effort today, I know there's mistakes. I know there was some low-quality moments. But if you're not proud of the West Tigers today, go follow another team.
For me, what Benji Marshall is now is you look at a guy like Craig Bellamy. Melbourne Storm is Craig Bellamy. His DNA is through the club. Every major decision at that club is Craig Bellamy. Wayne Bennett, when he spent so long at the Brisbane Broncos, Ricky Stewart at Canberra. Benji Marshall is that guy at West Tigers now. The West Tigers are Benji Marshall's club. And I know there's a lot of other people who are doing work around the field, but Benji Marshall is that most important person in our club right now. And I didn't think would get to this point, at least this quickly, probably ever.
Will he be here longer than Tim Sheen's first reign, or does he need to win a comp or go close to winning a comp to justify a decade-long reign?
Mate, he's at the point where if the side keeps improving and nothing major happens, he could spend 20 years as coach at this club. That's
a big call, 20 years.
Mate, you don't.
I'd answer it by saying he'll have that job as long as he wants it. He might decide at the end of 2030, I've had enough. You know, my kids are suddenly 10 and 11 or whatever they are.
You know what? His son was on the sideline with him today.
Yeah, I saw him.
So his son was coming up and talking to him during the game. Like, you talk about being a family club. Benji Marshall's son and was going up to the players and talking to the players during, like, this club is Benji Marshall right now. And you listen to the players talk about him. I don't think there's any doubt that whatever success we have in the next 5 years, 10 years, it's Benji Marshall.
What were any big takeaways from his press conference? I haven't seen it.
No, he just spoke about how proud he was of the team and how the things that they said they needed to work on during the week they showed today. He spoke about the defensive resolve falling apart in the middle. But no, he was super impressive once again. I can't fault the guy at this point in time.
Can I say something else about Benji Marshall? It wasn't that long ago that we were all sitting around saying, "What's our game plan? Have we got a game plan? What's our identity? Like, what are we trying to do out there?"
But he said it too.
And why are we just doing the same thing over and over and over and nothing changes? Like, just take today as an example. Like an hour and a half before kickoff, we find out that he's moved one player to the left, he's moved another, he's put another player on the bench, put the bench player on. He's now not second guessing himself. Like when he thinks this is what we need for this game, this is what I'm going to do, and he's got the confidence and the resolve to do it. Not just him, the whole coaching team, right? But that's a huge difference, I reckon, in his development.
And the way he coaches from the sideline, the encouragement he gives to players. Langan came off the field after that first stint he had today, and Benji Marshall was straight to him, and just a little fist pump, but that confidence that he is giving to those players and that belief he puts in those players, that's why they want to play for him. And most coaches, I'd say, mate, I don't think you can do as good a job from the sideline. He coaches incredibly well from the sideline and has
personality.
Yeah, and has such and not just his personality, but the belief those players have in him. You can see it when they come off. It's just. Well,
I'm glad I got to see the reaction of Benji Marshall after Luai got that sealer, the double fist pump. That was, Benji's tried to.
I asked Adel whether he thought that was just relief at the win or more happy for Jerome, and he leant towards the latter. Could have been both.
Yeah, it could have been. He would have been happy for Jerome. Look, remember, it's easy for Jerome to have a game like that. Like, for example, when we played the Cowboys, we were winning all game. Okay, and he was playing behind a pack that was winning the battle all game. This was a different time of Jerome Luai today. It was behind a beaten side without much around him. I mean, he's got strike players like Taylor and May and Buller with him there, but really not much else there. And for him to carry that team on his back the way he did today was, a real captain's knock.
In the press conference, Jerome spoke about the importance of Benji Marshall and how much he loves playing under Benji Marshall. Shame it wasn't enough to keep him here, but he spoke about how having a guy who played the same position and has that belief in him in that role and what that means to him. So
we've got 18 months of him, guys, and if I'm sure he'll bring it. But the best part about it, Appy wasn't there today to take any of that limelight away from Jerome. This was Jerome Luai's moment as a captain, as a 5'8", as a leader of our club, and he got us a win.
Well, that's a confidence builder as well, because I think this is only the second game we've won since Appy joined without him, and we're going to probably be without him for the Dragons, which will be a huge game in a couple of weeks.
Potentially, but if New South Wales wrap up the series, they might want to blood a nice young hooker. We'll go find him a hooker. Maybe we'll get Lanyon to start in Origin or something like that. We need Appy back, guys. He's irreplaceable. But really proud of what Lanyon did today. It was a great first up effort.
Tuesday we'll unpack the Dolphins, Steve. But why can't we get a sellout at Campbelltown? 7 wins and 6 losses. It's been how many years since we've had more wins and losses after it's round 15?
Oh, I think we will go pretty close. Like it's an afternoon game, I think.
It's a 5:30 Saturday, I think.
Yeah, afternoon game. Out at Campbelltown, so there's no reason the team's coming off a win, right? We need a full house at Campbelltown, right? We need to get behind the boys. We're still busted. We've still got players out. We're dragging ourselves to each game. We need the crowd to get behind them at Campbelltown.
Can I ask you, have we got an ambush event out there next week or not?
We do. We do have an ambush.
You want to give it a
event,
plug
and-
now so we can get people there earlier?
No, because I don't know the details.
Oh,
But thanks anyway, Rob.
Yeah, but it'll be roughly 4 o'clock if it's a 5:30 game.
Yeah, but we'll
what
give
time
the
the game is.
details.
It's a 3 o'clock.
So we don't know where we're at least?
Yeah, we'll give the details
Okay.
on Tuesday, but we are at the Sherwood
We are at
before
the
the
Sherwood.
game.
Okay, there you
and
go.
it's about an hour and a half before kickoff. That's right.
Beautiful.
And hopefully we'll have a guest to have a chat to and all the
Well, I
usual
might hang
stuff.
around for half of it as well.
The big thing about Campbelltown next week and why we should have a sellout crowd is for years we've spoken as West Tigers fans what it's like having our season over in May. We're now midway through June, and this side has a fighting chance of making the semi-finals. We're still better than 50%. All West Tigers fans, I don't care where you live, you should be getting out to Campbelltown next weekend because this side
It is 3
deserves
o'clock
support.
kickoff. Bloody hell, Rob. It's middle of the races. It's on
3 o'clock kickoff.
3 o'clock.
Saturday, yeah.
Okay, that's all right. Bad for you, but good for us. You can do your homework on Sunday.
So
What are
that's,
we talking
that's
about again?
Ambush 1:30.
there you go.
All right.
I thought it was an afternoon game. I said that, then you threw me off.
Anyone else we need to praise or criticise? Coach was very combative tonight, having to go at some of the people in the live chat. You've been in the live chat the last couple of weeks. Maybe he's having to go at you.
I'm proud of him, by the
Or you
way. He
fed-
never mentioned one particular person's name, which I don't want to give him any credit for whatsoever, but he's an absolute, like he said, oxygen thief, and he's not a true supporter of the club.
Mate, I love those people in the chat. Let them go their hardest. They just help our algorithm.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to read what they actually said. Like, I don't know how you can criticise Luai on today's performance.
No, crazy.
All right. Great win for the Tigers, 36-28. We'll be back on Tuesday for close out.